So I think that, and I don't think the United States is alone in this. This is a problem of this thing called the nation state. And the nation state is always built on including some and excluding others. And so if you take that, the way that applies to the United States is that the United States always created an outsider. It was premised on the outside. So in the early part of the formation of the United States, the outside was the frontier, the border, but the border kept changing, and the outside was the native people, and they were savage, they were barbaric, they lived in Indian country, and they were something, they needed to be civilized. That was part of Manifest Destiny. That was the outside, and the outside was necessary so you could create who the inside was, and the inside were the settlers and the America, the great experiment, right? And then the Native Americans weren't then the only outside. Then the outside was the Africans who were brought in as slaves. So then that was another outsider. And so there's always this conversation about who the outside is, and that's really important. About not so much, that conversation isn't about the actual people who are outside, but it's about the inside, about the people who are trying to be constructed as part of the inside. So that part of what I was saying is in the panel is that in this current moment, one of the quintessential outside is the Muslim. Even though, for example, the Muslim is not an outsider to the United States, because the first Muslims in the United States were African slaves. 20% of the slaves that were brought over were Muslim. So that Islam or Muslimness was part of American history, and the history of Islam in America is the history of black Muslims in the United States. So, but we perceive the Muslim as the outside because we're trying to say about who we are. So who are we? We're secular, we're rational, we are modern, we are all of these things. We're not violent, we're peaceful, we're about law and order. And so we say what those things are by creating the mythical outside who is not any of that. And that mythical outside is the Muslim.